Yes, guys, we're back for the Fantasy Football Social. Why are we here? Because Gianni Butticè has hit that button. Come on!
Woohoo! This
Yes,
is
guys.
huge, guys. Gianni has a massive ego, so he thinks you all want to hear what he's doing with his wild card. Let's go.
Even speaking about himself in the third person. And when I say that button, I don't mean that like button or that subscribe button that you guys are all hitting right now, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, do hit them, by the way.
I mean the wildcard button. It's way more important than that stuff. The worst thing about wildcarding, and I only pushed the button on Wednesday night, guys, is I wasn't able to bookend my team, like dead end my team. I wasn't able to bookmark those transfers and go, I'm having a 2-week punt on Vardy or something like that.
That would have been a good 2-week punt.
Would have been a great one. And that was a bit frustrating, but all the injuries and off the back of the Trent news, the Shaw news, the Ayling news, come Wednesday night, despite having missed out on loads of price rises for loads of players that I bought in that happened early in the week, I pulled the trigger and I'm actually really happy with my decision. So for those listening on pod or watching, I'm just going to very quickly run through my starting 11 with my bench, and then Ed is going to quiz me from top to bottom. So Ramsdale in goal, Cancelo, Christensen, Rudiger, Saka, Greenwood, Salah, Rafinha, Jimenez, Antonio, Lukaku. Then on the bench, I've got Diaz, who will often be in my 11. Double City, double Chelsea defence, Livramento and Douglas Luiz, bench fodder, and Foster also on the bench.
Okay, so Gianni, Ramsdale seems to be the keeper of choice at the moment. Why?
Yeah, I like Ramsdale. I think he'll get saves aplenty and also, more importantly, clean sheets. We know Arteta's underlying data from Arsenal last season. They were really good at the back and they will get clean sheets. They're starting to win games. I like Ramsdale. It's 4.5. If you want to spend 4.5 on a keeper, you've usually got to go for a sort of relegation threatened team. Fair enough, Brighton with Sanchez, but I don't massively rate him for save points or bonus. Ramsdale's the much better option.
Okay, and at the back, double Chelsea and double City. Go on, tell us.
Come on. And this is why I've wildcarded. It's to fixture swing and it's to get these guys in, right? City and Chelsea. It's so difficult picking Chelsea players. I'd love Alonso for that high risk, high reward. But I actually think Chilwell could easily start. And actually, it's a little bit too risky. It's a matter of time until Chilwell comes in for me. So the safe bets are Azpilicueta and Rudiger. Mm-hmm. Do I want to spend that much money on 2 centre-backs when I can get Christensen at 5.0? I'd rather save the million. Christensen instead of Azpi. Yes, he might start 1 or 2 fewer games over a 10-week period. But I'm happy to take those benchings and Livramento comes in or someone comes in. So Christensen because he's cheap, Rudiger because there's a little bit of upside there, but also he's the one that's absolutely nailed under Tuchel. So those guys are set for me. If Reece James was fit, and he might be by game week 7, and he probably will be by game week 8, I might be tempted there. But again, like Alonso or Chilwell, Tuchel likes to rotate fullback. So it's just safe with the Chelsea guys.
Okay, you got midfielder Rafinha, Salah, Greenwood and Saka.
What about City? What about City defence?
Sorry, City. Go on, City defence. Sorry, do you want to go for it? Wow.
Very quickly. Sorry, Ed.
That's all right.
Cancelo's just a lock, right? If you're wildcard, he's top of the sheet. He's starting games. Zinchenko's out. He's the best left back and right back at City. There's an upside there. And Diaz is my placeholder. You will notice this team doesn't have Trent. I'm not foolish enough to want to go without Trent moving forward. I'm willing to go without Trent for a few weeks, even if he's fit for game week 8, because of City's fixtures. In 3-4 weeks' time, Diaz will become Trent.
Okay, you've got a midfield, Gianni, of Rafinha, Salah, Greenwood and Saka. Saka stands out to me there. Go on, why have you got him in?
Yeah, I feel like we don't need to talk about Salah and Rafinha. They're just so obvious. But Saka, I think Arsenal started to win games. If you followed me last season, you'll know I love Saka. And I think he'll get assists for fun. Aubameyang has started scoring again. He looked sharp against Spurs. I hope that wasn't just a one-off. If Aubameyang hits form, Saka gets the assists. I also like Smith Rowe. Similar underlying numbers there. Saka is obviously more expensive, but I do think he's more likely to play 90, Saka, and I do think there's more goal threat, despite seeing Smith Rowe looking really good in front of goal. There's something about Saka that makes me go, he's always got that XL, the X lively. And for me, I think he's going to do really well in the next sort of 5-6 weeks.
No stats on this pod, even made up ones, please. Up front, you have Jimenez, Antonio, Lukaku. Jimenez is so boring. He only ever gets one goal. He never gets two. There's no ceiling there. I wouldn't choose him. Why have you got him?
Mr. 8 points himself, but you take those 8, and with fixtures from Wolves, you can kind of go, yeah, I can see the points coming in. I think when Wolves score, he will be involved. A bit like in years gone by. We said the same last season before his injury, didn't we? And the season before that, when Wolves score, it's Jimenez involved. So Newcastle, Villa, Leeds, Everton, Palace. That's a nice set of 5 fixtures. Will he be there for all 5 of them? I'm not so sure. Might sell him after the Leeds fixture, because one guy I really want is Tony. And Tony was actually in my first draft, and the draft I posted on Scout when I did my team reveal a few days ago, which was the first sort of I might wildcard, I might not draft. It's been fine-tuned since then. And whilst I want Tony moving forward, I think he's got West Ham, Chelsea, then Leicester off the top of my head. I just prefer Jimenez for the fixtures. When Jimenez goes to Tony, I'll have enough money in the bank. I've already got about 0.6, I think, to go Diaz to Trent. So whilst I'm not bookmarking those transfers for exact weeks, I know there'll be moves I'll be looking to make 3-4 weeks into this wildcard. And then Antonio, well, he's just a lock. He delivers like a premium. And then I've got Lukaku over Ronaldo, Ed.
No Ronaldo. I was just coming to that. No Ronaldo. And a wild card, you have neglected to put in the greatest player of all time into your team. Come on, explain yourself, Gianni.
And I think that's why I've gone Greenwood. And it's a weird one. Like I think I'm trying to, in a weird way, cover United's and Ronaldo's points. And you can't do that with Ronaldo.
Yeah, I'm sure 19, 20-year-old Greenwood is going to cover the greatest player of all time and Bruno Fernandes's points. I'm sure that'll happen, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a safety blanket. Also, Greenwood's been in my team since game week 1. So there's something in that, me going, every time you wildcard, there's always that one player you sell and go, I wish I hadn't sold him. He's just hit 20 points. Now, am I saying that's going to be Greenwood? Probably not. It's probably going to be Ronaldo. But because I've had Greenwood since game week 1, I've had a lot of backlash on Twitter early in the season for going for him and calling him nailed. And of course, he has become nailed.
Let's be honest, that's the only reason you've kept him in your team, isn't it? It's the Twitter lot.
Probably. Yeah. And I must admit, the team we're talking about, the only place that might change between now and Saturday morning's deadline, genuinely, I can't see myself making any changes other than Greenwood. Greenwood, in a fact, should be greyed out because I really don't know what's going to happen with that spot. And I think I've got 8.1, 8.2 to spend. Doesn't have to be Greenwood. I actually thought originally in the week it would be a City player because I really want to cover City attack. But I was thinking, do I really want City attack versus Liverpool? Or do I want one extra week to watch City and go, okay, I can now tell just that little bit more and have that little bit more data to go, I'm going to go on Grealish. I'm going to go on Foden. But who I really want in that role, and it might be this come Saturday's deadline, it might be Foden. I really want Foden, who played false 9 against Chelsea, City's best performance of the season. I think Foden's going to get a lot of game time, and I much prefer Foden over Greenwood. But for 1 week, I feel like maybe Greenwood and then Foden. But again, that's booking in a transfer, which I don't love doing. So I'm torn. That's the only spot that's still up for grabs.
Forgetting the fact you've already used 3 Chelsea places, would you consider Havertz?
No, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. And I love Havertz, but he doesn't look like a consistent FPL performer for me yet. And I think Foden, given the minutes, will become that. Greenwood has shown already this season he's showing good signs to getting consistency. Unlucky not to score last week, Greenwood as well. For me, Chelsea midfield, Mount is the only one I'd consider, and he's not only not fit, but also out of form. End of last season's Mount, sure, but not this season's Mount.
That's my little punt for this Chelsea run is going to be Havertz, but we'll see.
Nice, but he'll get game time.
Yeah, 2 questions for you just to close. What are you most happy with on your wild card, and what are you most uncomfortable with? Or you might have just said, is it that Greenwood slot you're most uncomfortable with?
100%. That's the only thing I'm uncomfortable with. That will give me a sleepless night tonight. That Greenwood shout, so and I'm really not sure who I go with. What am I most comfortable with? Probably the fact that I'm going into a wild card I'm really happy with it, because there's always question marks. And I guess the uncomfortableness of it is losing. If I lose Greenwood, it's losing Greenwood for that week because he could do well against Everton. But also, of course, Ronaldo. Like, the elephant in the room here is I've sold Ronaldo and he's going to be so highly owned, and his effective ownership is going to be through the roof. And I'll be watching that United game, which is the early kickoff, knowing the world and his dog of Captain Ronaldo, and I've just sold him on my wild card. So other than the United attack, I'm at one with nature. Okay. but other than that, I'm bricking it.
All right. Brilliant. Well, anything else you want to tell us, or are we done?
I mean, that's just the thought process of a FPL addict right there, isn't it? 1 minute he's saying he's completely settled with his team, and the next he's telling you he's having sleepless nights and bricking it. Yeah, Welcome to my life.
Yeah, the guys, you now know which players to avoid because Gianni's getting them in. So do comment below your wildcard teams if you're playing a wildcard. Somehow I've taken over running this show and I'm closing off. But Gianni, thanks for showing us your team. Anything else to say, Gianni?
No, I'll let you close off, Ed. But before you do, please comment with Foden, Greenwood, or Grealish. I'm genuinely interested to know your opinion. It can be a 1 week punt on Greenwood, or perhaps you'll all tell me Saar, not interested. It's Greenwood, it's Foden,
and it's Grealish.
Or it's Greenwood, Grealish. Yeah, it's one of the three.
It's Greenwood, Grealish, or Foden.
That's or maybe, do you know what?
Or Havertz.
Maybe it's Havertz or Saar as well. Who should be that midfielder? I've got 8.1 or 8.2 to spend.
Thanks very much, everyone. See you next week.